Today we're going to work on a 9200 Mossberg. I have a safety issue with it. It wouldn't come off safety, so I'm going to attempt to replace the buffer bolt plate and the bolt buffer assembly. So these two things will control this safety part here. It wouldn't come off of safety, so we're going to take it apart. We've already checked the action and everything's safety and ready to go, so we know it's unloaded. So first thing we're going to do is take the butt plate off, and it takes a Phillips screwdriver. It's got two of them there that bolts it up. Take that off, and we got a 13mm socket, or you can use a screwdriver with the right extension on it, long enough. So I'm going to go in there and going to find the head of that bolt. I'm going to take that out. Once the screw is out there far enough, you don't have to take it all the way out. You can just back it off enough to leave it inside the stock and help you line it up the next time. So that's got that apart. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to leave the action closed, because it's back here where we're going to get into that. So we're going to knock out two pins. One of them will go one way and one of them will go the other way. So I've kind of tried to mark these so I can put it back a little bit more efficient. So this one's going to go that way. That pin will come out that way. I'll lay it up here. And this pin here, I'll go the other way. Like that. And now we're going to turn it over, and we're just going to lift this out. And I'll try to show you down in here what's broken. You can see that buffer plate right there, and the buffer assembly is broken out of the bolts, not allowing it to come off safety. So we're going to have a couple of screws here in the back of it. They're a T20. I'm going to show you how to get those out of there. They got like a little head on the end of them. So we're going to take this out. We show you that this here is broken, and this piece here's got a crack in it, so we're going to change it as well. What happens is when the impact of these 3-inch shells come back and hits that, it breaks this up here. So that's what caused the damage on it. So what I have to do is reach down in there and kind of hold on to these screws a little bit. Have to get just a little bit smaller pliers. You can kind of see down in there how those are made. They kind of screw on the end of that bolt. There's nowhere to hold on to those without using some type of pliers. So I just go in the end of that. And if you can see down in there, I got a hold of the end of it, just enough to hold it. I'm going to use the T20 to back that out of there. And we're going to lay these out here. Once we get started back, though, we won't be able to use them again because they don't make this buffer assembly anymore that these screws go through. I'll show you what we're what I have to do here. So we got both of them out of there. Just gonna turn that over, get that one out of there. So we got that out of there, so we're ready to go back. So what happens when you purchase the new one, these bolts here won't pass through this. The hole's too small when you purchase the new one. So what you have to do is make your own screw. Find one that threads through that and is not too long enough to go through that. So what I've done is I grounded the head off of that makeshift couple of screws to fit into that where they'll automatically thread into that. So we're going to put it back together. So we're going to stick this down in there. And we're going to turn it up where you can see. We're going to line up the screws. And we're going to get one started. We'll get the other one started here. Maybe get lined up exactly right. What we had to round them off for is a little trouble getting that lined up. It's a little trouble to get that lined up exactly right, so we're going to try it again. Try to hold it up here this time since you've already seen where they go. If it slides down too far, it won't line up. I feel it grabbing that time. It's got a little notch down underneath there where I got my finger down in here. It's letting me set it up there where it goes, where the screws will line up a little easier. So both of them started. Don't want to strip it out, you're just going to snug it up as best as you can without stripping it. That's why we had to grind them off for. See, it had to be the same size as this for that to go in there, so that's why we ground those off. You might be able to find the right size head for that, but if not, you'll have to grind off and make you a makeshift screw like I did. So there, we're ready for that, and we have the buffer plate. It's going to go with the wide side down. Ain't but one way it can go. Hope you can see that right there. Goes in just like that. Put it back in the trigger assembly in there. Put our pin back through there. This one went this way, you see. this one right. Got that one started. Got that one started. Got both pins back in there, they're flush. I just put those numbers on there to make sure I could know which way they go, and I still got messed up a little bit, but it's no problem on that part. So everything's torqued down here, so we're ready to put the stock back on. Just go in there, we'll get that started by hand. Use the wrench and torque it down a little bit. So we got that ready. So we're ready for the butt plate. Takes us small Phillips head for that one. Get one too big, it may not work for you as well. Kind of countersunk in there, you kind of have to feel where they go. It's torqued down. I'm going to see the safety works before you can get it off safety. The action works. So we're ready to test for it. Okay, so we're going to load it up. I'm going to test for it. Here we go. Good to go. We got it fixed up. Ready for turkey season.